Now, from executive orders to infrastructure and ease of doing business, digital economy to social investment and poverty alleviation, physical trade, monetary and investment reforms, to mention but a few. Now, to the business of the day. On the program today, we will be highlighting some economic achievements of the late Buhari's administration. Now, to do justice to this and more is we have an economist in the house, Yusuf Aliyu. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Nigeria.
Now, let's begin with the big picture. What was President Muhammadu Buhari's overall economic philosophy, and how was it reflected in his policy direction?
Late President Muhammadu Buhari can be viewed in three different perspectives. One, as a military administrator who has developed a region. Second, as a former petroleum minister who has also contributed greatly to the emergence of Nigerian refineries, plus being a PTF icon who has transformed life of many Nigerians, including the vulnerable ones. But above all, he will be remembered as a Democrat who has patiently contested an election 3 times and at the end becoming the most widely elected officer in the Federal Republic. He has done much on economics, but one issue that remained very significant in remembering President Muhammadu Buhari is his attitude to grant financial bailouts to the state at a critical time when former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan emphasized systemic failure to our political and administrative capacity as a nation. So Buhari was able to stabilize some of the state structures, especially the funding process that has yielded so much good result in making employment stable and also creating opportunity for many states to have an opportunity to govern their people and have themselves re-elected.
Now, many credit the administration for redirecting capital into agriculture and local manufacturing. Would you say these interventions, like the Uncle Borrowers program, delivered lasting results?
Yeah, Buhari has attempted to change the structure of agriculture, structure of manufacturing, but he has done his best by introducing good concepts, but along the line, some hit holes emerge, especially if you remember over 800 billion was given out by the Uncle Borrowers, but recouping the money remained very insignificant as far as the effort of government is concerned in redistributing same facility for the development and growth of agricultural sector as well as manufacturing. But however, if we look critically, Buhari administration suffered from the coronavirus pandemic, which has suffered the entire world economy. But at the same time, it was a credit to him by making most of the stabilization policies of the administration to maintain a stable economy, even with the fragile nature of our economic parameters.
The Central Bank of Nigeria took a more interventionist role, especially in foreign exchange management. How effective was the multiple exchange rate policy implemented under Buhari's tenure?
The Central Bank under General Muhammadu Buhari has done very much to stabilize the exchange rate, especially in dollar term, to 216 naira to a single dollar, which is very significant compared to the situation that we are presently under floating exchange rate. In my opinion, Buhari economic policies in terms of exchange, the best thing that has happened was his ability to stabilize the foreign reserve, which has helped the economy to withstand so much of pressures along many economic disturbances.
Okay, so now the Buhari administration heavily prioritized infrastructure, as we are seeing from the pictures there. Rail, roads, power, with significant Chinese loans. In your view, did these investments yield tangible economic returns?
Of course, yes, especially when you take the history of the late general in terms of fighting for one nation called Nigeria. He has achieved a dream by connecting a bridge that has connected other part of the country with the eastern part by reconstructing the second Niger bridge. This is a very critical infrastructure which will remain a blessing to the nation and will remain a blessing to the trade and movement of individuals in the same nation. However, if you also look at other critical infrastructures that have emerged in different corners of the economy, the connecting roads, the sewage, the control, and including infrastructures that has to do with power and energy. So, in my own opinion, he has given his own part, and we are still enjoying what he has given. But what is more important in remembering Muhammadu Buhari, first, we remember him, like I said, as a Democrat who always tried to behave democratic and at the same time also give windows for democratic ideas to penetrate into the spectrum of administration in Nigeria.
Okay, on energy, despite global pushes for energy transition, oil remains central. How did Buhari's oil sector reforms, especially with the Petroleum Industry Act, shape the future of Nigeria's energy today?
If we are to speak about the energy sector, especially petroleum sector, one emphasis has to be given to his appointment of former managing director of NNPC and also our representative at OPEC. He has done very much well and he has represented Nigeria very well. But to sum it all, Buhari administration gave rise to what is now called the savior of Nigerian energy market, that is the emergence of Dangote refinery. That has to do with the first in history to have PIA into action. People will always remember Muhammadu Buhari when it comes to petroleum industry with the PIA, because he is the one that stood to make presentation to the legislators and to also keenly follow the process to the end by signing the bill that has ended the subsidy era and has brought a very good atmosphere for the players in the oil industry to invest. And that is why today we have Dangote producing a very large scale of 650,000 metric tons of crude oil. And not only doing that, by now, in just less than 2 years, is writing up over 50% of our import. This is a good one that was emanated as a result of effort and emphasis laid by the late President Muhammadu Buhari, and also the introduction of PIA to the Nigerian economy, which will continue to stabilize the oil supply, stabilize oil prices, and also give opportunities for stakeholders to invest in the economy.
Now to another area which is very important. I'm talking about poverty reduction, the National Social Investment Program, NSIP, Empower, trader money, school feeding was often cited as a poverty reduction tool. How effective were these programs in tackling unemployment and inequality?
It was a well conceptualized intervention, but obviously a lot of issues went under the carpet, which is not the right time for us to discuss them. But in my own opinion, Buhari's attempt to reduce poverty, he has created a lot of opportunities of eradicating especially rural poverty by engaging many of the peasants into agricultural sector, and also assisting not only the agricultural base, but assisting the producers to have a very fair pricing, but that has made a lot of people to remain in agriculture, and also to introduce many people who saved their legitimate earnings and then putting it in agriculture. That will be remembered, especially when we look at the prices at which most of the foodstuffs were sold before the advent of his administration, and also at the peak of his administration.
Okay, there's quite a lot there to, almost touching every area of economic development. But if you had to name one policy that had the most lasting positive impact on Nigeria's economy from Buhari era, what will it be?
Yeah, it will be Nigeria first. That is protectionism, protecting the local industries and also giving them opportunities to have a fair sharing from the financial market. It was a good policy for any industrial takeoff of any state.
Thank you very much, Yusuf, Aliyu.
Thank you very much. And may Allah continue to bless the country. May Allah also accept the soul of President Muhammad Buhari.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.